Welcome back, guys. So I want to share with you 5 ways commercial air travel has changed since the COVID pandemic. First of all, we are saying goodbye to 4-engine airplanes such as the A380 and 747 and even the A340. And because of that, there will be less or literally no more first class flying available. Thirdly, there is a stronger than ever emphasis on airplane cleanliness and hygiene level. As a result of that, the in-flight meal service has changed and significantly impacted. And after all, I think flying will become a necessity. It won't be as fun as before anymore. So perhaps the biggest area got impacted is the in-flight service delivery, the in-flight meals. The buzzword for new in-flight catering standard is sealed and wrapped. So everything is packed, pre-packaged, and try to be less contactable. So I have flown in the US on a domestic flight recently. Now you will get a snack bag with a bottle of water, with a sanitizing wipe and a snack in US domestic economy class. In first class, you used to get a meal tray with a hot entree, but this is no longer the case. You will receive a cold pre-packaged snack box as well. So definitely there's a lot of downgrade. The airlines are doing this by saying we want to remove a lot of touch points and contact points between passenger and flight attendants. So the flight attendants won't heat up the meal. Instead, everything will be pre-loaded and pre-packaged and everything will be sealed and wrapped and directly give out to the passenger. And then once the passenger finished, they just throw it into the garbage bag directly. For domestic flying, you can forget about hot towel service, your champagne flutes or coffee mugs. In fact, mostly the airlines are just serving water. However, airlines are actually encourage passengers to bring their own food on board. So now for international long-haul flights, the catering standard varies a lot. We have seen British Airways came out with only in-flight boxes meals. Only the first class get a hot meal. Business class, economy, and premium economy all get a pre-packaged box with cold meal. So I don't get the logic why first class gets a hot meal and premium economy, business don't get a hot meal. And also premium economy and economies get the same box as well, which is quite disappointing. The same goes with Turkish Airlines. You only get cold meal, cold meze, and the snack bags as a second meal as well. So, this is a drastic change from what flight catering used to be. Unfortunately, there are also quite a lot of airlines still maintaining good level of service. Singapore Airlines, for example, they came out and saying that for all the long-haul flights, we consolidate all our dishes like the satay, the fruits, the cheese, all on one plate with a hot entree. Except the flight to Southeast Asia and China will be served in a snack bag. Another great carrier maintaining the same in-flight meal standard is Japan's ANA. They still serve the same food. The only difference is the food is served with covers on top. The breads are individually wrapped and sealed. This is part of the ANA Care Promise, which is their hygiene protocols. For airlines from the Middle East like Emirates and Qatar, they came out and saying, we pretty much maintain the same standard in first and business class. We have a single-use menu with hot disposable towelettes, and then any flights over 1.5 hours will get hot meal service. For economy class, any flight over 2.5 hours will still get hot meal service. So I know I have a lot of fans and frequent flyers who fly on Emirates. There's a website right now you can check on what service will be provided on your flights. What I found out is there's no more onboard bar at the back of the A380 or in front of the 777, and there's also showers not available. But however, the chauffeur drive remains available. For Etihad, it is pretty much the same. I've seen pictures, they're still maintaining the same in all classes with the meals. You probably can see airplanes are actually cleaner than ever in service right now. All the airlines in the world has put in a lot of effort and emphasis on the cleanliness to win the confidence back for the traveler to fly again. A lot of airlines now are producing hygiene kits, just like amenity kits. But inside the hygiene kits or hygiene box, they will have a glove, they'll have a mask, they'll have sanitizing wipes for the passenger to remain clean during their journey. Airlines like Emirates is adding extra flight attendant on board. Their main duty is keeping the toilet constantly clean every 90 minutes to ensure the hygiene is on board. All the flight attendants you saw right now are dressed in gowns and PPEs, also in glasses and a mask. And then the image is all different while flying now. Abu Dhabi-based Etihad has introduced wellness ambassadors at the Abu Dhabi International Airport. Their role is giving vital information to passengers regarding health and safety during travel. They also have wellness ambassadors on board the flight, sharing advice on travel well-being and sanitization measures being implemented throughout the journey. The trend of future travel will become more contactless at every point of your journey. If you don't wear a mask, then you can't fly. So is social distancing really works in the air? I don't know. The airlines coming out and debate that social distancing doesn't work the same way in the air as it works in the ground because there's limited room there. A lot of airlines doesn't want to block that middle seats out, and then that would really hurt their bottom line, especially during a survival time like this. And now there's some good news as well. There are now over 50,000 commercial airplanes flying the sky since June 12, according to Flight Radar 24, and that has rebounded since the April low about 23,000. In normal time, we would expect about 120,000 commercial air flights in a day. So right now, there are literally no A380 flying in the sky. It sounds really ridiculous, isn't it? Air France has recently just came out to say we're retiring the whole A380 fleets completely. A lot of airlines like Qatar, Lufthansa, previously used a lot of A380. They said there's no demand for such big airplane. And also KLM, Qantas has just retired the 747 ahead of the retirement schedule because of lack of demand.
This is the last scheduled Qantas international flight landing here until normal operations resume. It is also likely to be the last Qantas 747 commercial flight. They were supposed to be wrapped up at the end of the year, but that date has now been brought forward because of the coronavirus crisis.
So the COVID-19 turned out to be aviation's biggest farewell party. Airlines are in survival mode. They're actually conserving cash, and they're trying to use more fuel-efficient airplane like the 787 or the A350. As an av geek, we love four-engine airplane because it's so unique, but it's so sad to see they get to retire prematurely before we can fly them once more. Emirates has over 130 A380, but now they're only using the 777, smaller planes. But the good news is that from 15 July, they will again using A380 on their flights to London and Paris, one flight a day. So with the removal of the A380 and 747 in airline service, first class might become a thing of the past. So you see airlines are using smaller planes like 787 and 350. Typically they don't have first class, right? And airlines like Etihad, they has come out saying we are removing first class inventory completely from our system in 2020. That just says the demand of first class are really low right now. So out of all this, what I've learned is that flying has become a necessity for those who needed to travel. It is not for fun anymore, not for pleasure anymore, because there aren't much. I recently flew in the US and I was wearing a mask when I fly. I noticed everybody's practiced social distancing away from every other passenger. So everybody's sitting away from each other, and then you see everybody's wearing masks. It's very quiet during the whole flight. You hardly hear any laughter or any chatter. Everybody's avoiding direct contact with each other. So it's become a very somber experience, actually. And also think about international travel requirement has changed drastically since the pandemic. A lot of countries now require you to have a travel insurance. They require you to have a COVID-19 test taken before the flight. And when you arrive, there's a lot of paperwork to deal with. You have to check your body temperature and take another COVID-19 test and even self-isolate for 14 days, which all makes travel less fun, more work, and less doable. I know a lot of these measures are not that popular and not desirable for myself and for a lot of frequent traveler like you and me. We're expecting the good old days to return. But I have a fear, and I fear may become true as well. But I think we just have to get used to. This might become the new norm of air travel in the future. Aviation is forever changing and forever adapting. I'm looking forward to share with you all the future development. Thank you so much for watching today.